Guys, if I just put this on the counter. What? Are you kidding me? Dance number? Glenda's here. Fine. Back to work. Right. There we go. Right. What now? The Wicked Witch of the West is here. I don't care if she's burning the house, the area of Emerald City. I don't care. Unless you want to have your house burnt down from the witch. No, thank you. Hey, boss. Why is this liquid glowing? Look, I don't care if you can't find what you're looking for. The only thing I can't stand is have to do every single musical number for Glinda every time when she appears in that giant bubble. No, in fact, I don't get paid enough for this. I quit. Hello everyone, Max Danger here, back with a review. Today, I know it's been a while, but I had to take some thought with this film, and I had took a little break, but I'm back again. I know I'm a bit of a hassle with uploads, but I just feel like uploading today, so just bear with us here with the uploads at the moment. But today, as you can see with the thumbnail and the video itself, I am reviewing Wicked. And I came into this film unprepared of the musical, because I've never seen the musical. So that will be, you know, something I might reconsider trying to do some research on in my spare time, leading up for next year for them doing part 2. And let's get into the review. So first off, normally I like musicals, and this one was alright. Like, it's not like amazing for me, but I know it's amazing for everyone at the moment, just obviously with it being 5 stars everywhere, and reviews are going off the rails with this film, you know, because obviously it's like huge fan service for the fans of the musical, because I could tell, because the screen I was in was half fans from the musical fans, and then like the rest were just like families with their kids and stuff. But that is a conversation for later. But with this film, like, we all know the story of the Wizard of Oz, and I was interested in how they were going to portray like the prequel, on how they would do the Wicked Witch and the good one as well. And I have to say, even though I'm not a fan of this one in particular, but I do love musicals. Is one thing if you didn't know, is I like musicals, and this one wasn't like hitting those notes for me, and there's a reason for that. Was because when you have a musical, in some musicals in films, you would have dialogue with a bit of story, and then they go into song, you know, well-known songs. Like, I'll do a perfect example of like some musical ones I prefer, like The Greatest Showman. That was good because that was like P.T. Barnum, and I believe that's based on a true story as well. And you know, it had a good set of characters and cast in that one, and you know, you had that type of thing going as well. And the acting in it before the songs were brilliant. In Wicked, for me, I just can't find that excitement. Like, don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing wrong with the actors or their performance. I thought the performances were good, but it doesn't hit like anything that I'll remember, because I felt like this film was pretty forgettable, to be honest with you. Because it's like it's like I went into this thinking I would love it because I love musicals, but this one is more like a hit and miss. So like it's like you go and see it and see if it's good enough, and if and then the other side of me was like maybe I'll give it a chance and then move on to the next. But this one I had to move on from the next because this one I had to take a bit of a while to process this film as well because this is a two-parter. So this one was very long. So the only critique, one of the big critiques I have with it is the runtime because it drags a lot in terms of like what they're trying to do with this one, right? And that's probably because there's a lot of songs in it. And I kind of understand from a musical where I think the musical does everything, like from the actual ending to the whole thing of it. But I didn't know any of it until I looked on like the internet for the musical stuff and everything. So yeah. And now that I have a little understanding of the movie and the actual musical itself, like I know I'm aware of the Broadway, and I know that, but now I know a bit of it from a few days ago researching and stuff. It is actually a decent story, and there is that open window on how dark can they get in the second one, depending on what they're going to go with next. But I'm getting sidetracked with thinking ahead for the sequel for next year in December. But with this film, like, it's like good actors, like Ariana Grande. I forgot the other actress. Bear with me, guys. Here, but other than that, both of them absolutely brilliant performance out of the both of them. Like, not just like the acting they're saying. Like, obviously Ariana Grande, obviously, because obviously she's a singer herself, so I wasn't surprised. But her like role as Glenda was actually really good. Like you can't. She's kind of like a bit spoiled in this as a character. So like the character is obviously meant to be the good witch, right? Or is what you think she's supposed to be in the Wizard of Oz. And this one, she's kind of like trying to get that popularity and everything. And this is probably going to be a spoilerish review, to be honest with you, because we all know kind of the Wizard of Oz type of thing anyway. So obviously, in our perspective of the Wizard of Oz, we always thought Glinda was supposed to be the good one. You empathize with her and everything. In this one, obviously, as I mentioned, she, in her origin story, before she becomes the good witch in that giant bubble, literally I made a joke before, if you've seen my intro, and I thought it was pretty funny. Like, there is moments of the film which is good, but it kind of is funny, and then you move on to the next scene and you're like, yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? Like, for me, it's like that, because I have a certain type of style of musical films that I like, and this one just never hit the note for me. But I do kind of see why people like this type of thing with Wicked. And again, the other one, the other witch, which is, I think, Elphaba, if I'm correct. Just bear with us here. Elphaba, I think it is. So Elphaba is actually misunderstood because she's got the green stuff. Because obviously, in the Wizard of Oz, she's like an actual witch, and you kind of realize she's kind of misunderstood. She's an outcast. And she doesn't belong in the world and everything in her eyes because everyone fears her or hates her in that kind of respect, which is pretty like quite of a clever thing. But again, it's kind of like how much are they pushing that as well, because sometimes you have to be very careful when you make a film based on, you know, misunderstood like skin and stuff, because it is kind of a hard thing to do in film, in my opinion, as long as it's done right. I think this one it's done it right in some kind of way, but I do kind of see other people out there that might get triggered or might get angry with it. I don't know. But however, the character of Alphabet is actually quite good because she goes from misunderstood and then starts to learn more about herself and this power she has, or whatever it is, like that levitating thing until the very end. And then you have a bunch of other characters, which is basically foreshadowing what we are expecting. Like there's a prince that comes in, obviously that Scarecrow, and then you have that, I think that Munchkin that Glinda tries to set up for Elphaba's sister, which doesn't turn out well. So I'm interested on that side plot as well. I hope they continue that, because she sets up with her sister, with this Munchkin, but really the Munchkin really likes Glinda, not the sister, which is obviously a terrible move. And not just that, the sister's in a wheelchair, which makes it much more tougher and like a bit more cruel. I thought it was a bit of a cruel too, in my opinion, with that way. But the thing is that I have a few gripes here. Is that that's only for one half of the film, right? Like most of the film, like there is a side plot where the dad is telling like Elphaba to always keep her eye on her sister, and she's not doing that. And because obviously she's off doing her own thing, she ends up getting in a roommate with Glinda. Elphaba and Glinda get in a room, and whatnot, and from there they move on from it like as if it's nothing. I hope they do get into more of that, because I would like to see more of the dynamic of the sisters of that in the next one. Again, for me, I like proper storytelling. That's the issue with me, is that I like it when things are done, like certain plot lines are done in the right way, or if it's like an ongoing thing, then bring it back up. But with this film, they do so many side plots, but then and that's for the first half, because this just remember this is a 3-hour film, so obviously I think it was probably just a lot of filler just for part 2, and I get that, but there's just so many things no answered, right? And then you get into the halfway point where they go to Emerald City. One of them gets to see the wizard, obviously to find out he's kind of a fraud, and he's not like who he thinks he is, what they think he is, and so obviously Elphaba goes out of her way and chooses her own destiny or path or something, I'm guessing, and flies off in the sunset on her own without her own best friend. And I'm guessing like that's just like one of the most well-known thing in the musical is that song, that Defying Gravity. Just bear with us here. And it's a really good song. I thought the song was pretty good. And I would say there is just so many like parts of that song in the film, because I've listened to both the musical and the film version. Musical one's actually good, decent, I can't lie. The film version is good, like the singer is like the one in the movie is good, but there's just so many cutaways. Like it doesn't have like that. I'm not gonna do the high pitch, but like it doesn't have that enough oomph with it, with the original version of it, in my opinion. Like yeah, it may hit note to note for fans, but if it's a beat to beat, then obviously you're gonna have to notice little details that you won't see, and that's the problem with me. I look into little details and stuff like that, because again, I am very, very, very much of a movie critic at this point, and I think he's have kind of noticed that in for this past year, with me being a bit more critical with films and stuff and other subjects. But yeah, I am very getting more open and honest about films now than I've ever been with my reviews. But other than that, the songs are good, obviously Defying Gravity, and then obviously the other one popular. I'm not going to sing them just for obviously copyright infringement or whatever it's called on YouTube. But again, I think it just comes down to what you prefer, the movie version or the musical version. Like, I think everyone's just obviously just going to stick to the musical version no matter what. Like, yeah, you may hear like the movie version on the radio, or if it's on Apple or Spotify, then listen in your own time. It's your decision. But like the other songs are pretty missable. Like those two songs are just like all right. And for me, I'm kind of interested on how it's going to end, right? Like, because we all know how the Wicked Witch of the West is going to end, obviously. But the thing is that what happens after Dorothy goes in part 2? Because obviously this one leads straight into what we know, which is the Wizard of Oz, like the actual proper timeline, right? So I'm actually interested what they're going to go next with in terms of like after the whole journey. I don't know which actor's going to play Dorothy in Wicked Part 2, but I'll be interested to see like the aftermath of that, because it will be very, very interesting. Like, because the thing is, right, is that in the beginning of Wicked is literally Glinda in the bubble, right? And she's telling the story. But the thing is that how much of the story is she telling of the events and stuff, right? Which is what you're watching, right? Like, because in the musical, apparently, Elphaba fakes her death. But the thing is, I know nothing, right? So anyone who wants to, like, remind me in the comments, or any fans who love the musical, let me know if I'm wrong here. But to me, in my head, just with how the story of the film went in the beginning, like, is she telling the story of the whole thing, or is part 2 going to be like after she tells the story and then we'll go into like present day? Like, I don't know. You can let me know in the comments about that. But I might be wrong, I might be right. I do not know. But you can help me in the comments. And with this review, I think I'm just going to give this film probably like an 8 out of 10. Again, like the pacing's all right. There is like some things that drag, like, you know, the constant singing and stuff, because like you do get some dialogue, but it's like every 5-10 minutes and then it goes into song. Like, I kind of see why people like Wicked in that kind of way, but musicals, I like certain paced musicals. That's the problem with me. I think I'm just very, very picky now when it comes to stuff like that now. So now I hope you enjoyed this review of Wicked, and I'll see yous in the next video, and that will probably be like one with that other guy I had, probably, and probably a few more surprises. And also keep your eyes peeled on a notification soon for an update for the Max film, because that's one thing I'm looking forward to revealing to you, because I've already done a little promotion of 2.0 on my TikTok now, which is going to probably be one of those cool things I'm going to do. Other than that, see you in the next video.